Ball flicked in towards April, so never particularly likely to win that one in the air. A 1 foot difference between him and the defender. Avery comes deep to pick up the ball. The whistle surely going to go any moment now. 4 minutes have been added on by the fourth official. We've had the 4 minutes. This attack turns, gets the ball to Habry on this near side. Habry feeds the ball in. Well, kicked away by Smith.
Yes!
And that reached the final whistle.
Dango!
Acceleration for South Africa. Despair for Morocco. The Alagita have won the Under20 Africa Cup of Nations for the very first time against the team that beat them in their only previous final 28 years ago, Morocco. The game was nip and tuck, and in the end a defensive error created the opportunity for South Africa, taken wonderfully by Jamalema Kakana. A simple long ball forward, the kick missed, but Reda Lalawi, who's been so good throughout the tournament, unfortunate for him, delight for the fans there in the stand. For the very first time for South Africa to go to the World Cup in Chile as the champions of Africa. For Morocco, I suspect he'll be in the team of the tournament as well. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Thank you so much. It means a lot to not only me but for the team. This award is for the team. I mean, with only me and without them, we would be nowhere. Together we're stronger.
You had a good performance throughout the competition. You helped your team to win the trophy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's nice to do my part, but the real plaudits go out to everyone who does the work. Not even the people behind the scenes, physios, doctors, fitness coaches, and the players as well. I mean, it's amazing what we've been able to do. Thank you so much.
Good to see there's no hard feelings between the players as well. Well, that's a dance you could do all night, isn't it? And they probably will be. Smith lower, perhaps struggling a little bit to keep up with the beat there. Well, everyone wanting to take their selfies now. Coming to a social media platform near you very soon, I suspect. A lot of those. That's a very happy looking South African part of the stands there. They've gone through all the highs and lows of this tournament, and remember, South Africa lost their opening game against Egypt back on the opening day. A 1-0 game which they lost 1-0, having hit the woodwork 3 times. Despite that, Egypt only just qualifying by the skin of their teeth, by the way, from Group A. Somehow getting through to the semi-finals as well. There's the Nigerian side, led by Daniel Bemeye, their captain, already a full international for the Super Eagles. Beats Egypt. Penalties in the third, fourth place playoff earlier in the day. Look like airline hostesses there bringing out the medals.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will begin the Total Energies Under20 Africa Cup of Nations Egypt 2025 Medals and Trophies Ceremony.
So then, the ceremony officially about to get underway, and there's the trophy they've all been playing for.
Get your weight up.
I hope those gloves have got grips on them. We don't want anyone to drop the trophy now. So there'll be medals, of course, for the officials as well. The third place team, Nigeria. And then also, of course, for our runners-up and winners in tonight's final.
Guys, it's okay. It's okay.
Well, just waiting now. The team medals to be presented, and then the celebrations to really get underway.
منكم الترحيب بالدكتور
Patrice Motsepe,
رئيس الاتحاد الأوروبي لكرة القدم. يرافقه كبار الشخصيات.
Moving up to the pitch
Please
now.
welcome on stage Dr. Patrice Motsepe, CAF President, accompanied by the dignitaries.
Well, this will be an especially happy day for Patrice Motsepe. Invests so much of his own time and money into the game in South Africa. And after, let's face it, a real dip in fortunes for the Bafana over the last couple of decades, maybe. Certainly since they hosted the World Cup in 2010, there's not been a lot to write home about for South African football. The good run by the Bafana at the last Africa Cup of Nations. Success here for the under-20s, and also a relative success for the club sides as well in CAF competitions in the last couple of years, as it really seems South African football has turned the corner. When you consider the popularity of football in South Africa, perhaps getting back to something like where they should be in the African game. So the Motsepe and the other dignitaries just sorting themselves out up there on the podium. I wonder if one of the third place or runners-up players be cheeky enough to try and pick up and run away with the trophy. Probably not. First up, great the doctor, the Moroccan captain Mouad Dahak. Picking up the Fair Play Award for the Moroccan side, picking up the fewest bookings throughout the tournament.
جائزة أفضل حارس مرمى. The best goalkeeper trophy is awarded to player number 1 from South Africa. اللاعب رقم 1 من جنوب أفريقيا Fletcher Lowe.
Fletcher Smith Lowe then, after a series of outstanding displays, 4 clean sheets in the tournament, picks up the best goalkeeper as well. I wonder if that's his father celebrating over there. Fletcher Smith Lowe, say the only non-South African based player in this squad, implying his trade in Portugal. In Estoril.
The Total Energies Man of the Competition trophy is awarded to player number 14 from South Africa. اللاعب رقم 14 من جنوب أفريقيا Tylon Smith.
And Tylon Smith the series of man of the match performances, especially in the semi-final where he scored the winning goal, and he'd have been the man of the match anyway. He was absolutely towering in defence. He picks up the player of the tournament. I must say, refreshing that the player of the tournament isn't merely given to the best attacking player for a change. Richly deserved for the Stellenbosch man.
فلنرحب بحكام مباراة المركز الثالث والرابع وحكام المباراة النهائية للبطولة. Let's welcome to the podium the match officials of the third place game and the match officials of the final game.
Particularly happy looking Cylon Smith there. So the match officials picking up their medals as well. Golden Glove, Fair Play Award, and the Man of the Tournament trophies as well, also getting their group photo. I must say, perhaps unsurprisingly, Moed not looking particularly happy to be picking up that Fair Play Award. He wanted something else, I'm sure. Here are the match officials from tonight's final coming up to pick up their trophy as well. Rather pick up their medals, I beg your pardon. I must say, one of the images of the tournament for me was the wry smile on the face of Karine Fomo, the female lineswoman, Cameroon, in the final. Flagged the winning goal offside, but when she realised that the mistake had been made and was going to be corrected by VAR, there was no tantrum, there was not at all upset, because of course we all know it's so difficult making those calls in real time. She took that decision with real humility. So Nigeria beat Egypt on penalties earlier this afternoon to pick up third place and the bronze medal there in this Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations. Richly talented side who I'm sure will be a real handful down in Chile in the World Cup later this year. Of course, they wanted more. The 7-time record Under-20s champions, but this wasn't to be. They came up against South Africa in stubborn mode in the semi-finals. At least they were the better team marginally in that semi, but they couldn't put their chances away. A real problem that dogged them throughout the tournament, really. Just weren't able to score enough goals, Nigeria. They do have a good few months now to try and sort that out ahead of the World Cup.
السيدات والسادة تمنح الآن الميداليات الفضية للفريق
Nigerian team that of course wanted more.
for the runners-up of the competition, Team Morocco.
Sporting of the South Africans to try and give them a bit of guard. Not getting much drift, are they, from the Some of the Moroccan players seems a bit mean. Perhaps not surprising, Gomalemo Kakana, one of the most keen to put out his hand. It's never easy. So, silver medal for Morocco. Not what they wanted by any stretch of the imagination, but they've got a lot to be proud of in this tournament. Starting the tournament with a really entertaining 3-2 victory over a very open and perhaps naive Kenyan side who will certainly improve in the future. Ground out a 0-0 against Nigeria in the group, then beat Tunisia to make sure they finished top of that group. Struggled against Sierra Leone, as so many other teams had, except really South Africa, the only team that really put Sierra Leone to bed. Remember, that's the Sierra Leone side that thrashed Egypt 4-1 in the group stage. Then, of course, went on to beat Egypt. They were very much the better side in their semi-final against the young Pharaohs. They eventually got through that one 1-0, but just came up against an inspired South Africa here in Cairo in the final. Well, there'll be more chances in the future, I'm sure, for most of these Moroccan players in the future. Where's she digging all those medals out from? Those are the gold ones for the winners.
للفائزين ببطولة كأس الأمم الأفريقية تحت 20 سنة.
Words there.
Energy.
Mohamed.
2025. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the gold medal for the champion of the Total Energies Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations Egypt 2025. Team South Africa. منتخب جنوب.
South Africa finally get the chance to get their hands on goal for the first time in their history. This their ninth appearance at the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations, in this the 18th edition of the event.
Mommy, Daddy, I love you guys.
And I'm sure they love you too. And well, they reached the final in their first ever appearance in the tournament in 1997 in Morocco against Morocco, lost 1-0. And in this their ninth appearance, they finally made it back to the final, facing the same opposition, this time 1-0 for the Amajita instead. You can hear the celebrations already starting. Of course, Patrice Motsepe is a proud South African. Be so pleased for the players and the coach, of course, as well. Raymond Ndaka. He's the man who's put this team together. We'll hope they can go from strength to strength in Chile later in the year. They have been to the World Cup on 4 previous occasions. 3 of those occasions they've gone out in the group stage without winning a game. In 2009, though, in the tournament held in Egypt, of course, won by Ghana. They went out in the round of 16, 2-1 after extra time, actually against Ghana, who went on to win the tournament. What can they do this time? Well, a smile and a hug for the coach there. Well, the dancing and singing has already started. That's going to keep going right through the night, isn't it? Back to front shirts would appear to be very much the thing these days.
قائد فريق منتخب جنوب افريقيا التي سيتسلم كأس البطولة من رئيس الاتحاد الأفريقي لكرة القدم الدكتور موسيبي. Please welcome the captain of Team South Africa, who will receive the trophy of the competition from the CAF President, Dr. Patrice Motsepe.
Who is going to collect the trophy? Asika Tiwani was the captain. He got injured in the first half of their first game. Who's going to be pushed forward for this? It's going to be Patrick Otata. Give the trophy a kiss. He won't raise it yet. Going to do this. It's a team effort. There they go. The 2025 Under20 Africa Cup of Nations champions are South Africa. And now the celebrations can really get going in earnest. Wonderful scenes here in Cairo. Everyone wants a piece of that trophy. Don't drop it, son. Safe hands. Of course, he's a goalkeeper. Well, they'll be picking that out of the grass for a good few weeks after this. Everyone now have their chance to pose for a photo with the trophy and their gold medal. Hard earned as well. Well, not everyone in the squad got to play a game in this tournament, but everyone in the squad did get a medal. It's one of the changes that has been made over the years. Think back to the 1960s and 70s. Some of the if you didn't actually play in the final itself, you wouldn't get a medal even if you played all the previous games. Fortunately, that sort of short-sightedness has now changed in the game of football. It is a squad game. The medal for one is a medal for all. Well, there'll be plenty of photos to pose for during this evening. Don't know when their flight back to South Africa is, but I'm sure they get a rousing reception when they touch back down on the southern tip of the tournament, of the continent even. Well, there was the moment again when the trophy was held aloft for the first time in South African history. And he puts so much in to a tournament like this. You live in each other's pockets throughout the tournament, of course, the training camp ahead of the tournament as well. Make friends for life. And whenever any of these players come across each other again during their careers, during their lives, they'll be able to look each other in the eyes and know that they were both there. And that is something they can take with them for life. So the 18th edition of the Under-20s Africa Cup of Nations comes to an end here in Egypt. Disappointment, of course, for our hosts, beaten in the third, fourth place playoff earlier today. On penalties as well by Nigeria, coming so close in second half injury time. Hitting both the post and the crossbar. With the goalkeeper beaten. South Africa got to the final. They came at top the Group A. 2 wins, a draw, and a defeat in their opening game against the host Egypt. To top that group, went through to play at Democratic Republic of Congo, but got stretched into extra time in that one to get through to the semi-finals. They came up against 7-time champions at Nigeria, edging them 1-0 in a tight game. Nigeria, perhaps with the better of the chances, South Africa just finding a way to get through. And then into the final in another tight game against Morocco. And as we saw,